As you can see, the bloody rain didn't let up, and we ended up having to pack up in the rain. Well, we made our way out of Melbourne this morning and we've just pulled up for lunch on the way to Lake's Entrance. It's a little roadside stop, and we might just go and see what Mama Bear's up to. I know she's making lunch. There we go. Well, a bit more civilised, Liz.
Yes. Yes, John, it is a little bit more civilised. I've got the inside, I've got fridge, I've got everything.
Out of the wind.
Well, that's important too, out of the wind. So, let's see. Let me put that there first. Bit of beetroot.
There you go. I'll let her finish making a salad sandwich for lunch. This is pretty natty. I'm loving this air suspension. We've pulled up and it was on quite an angle, but I've been able to just drop a bit of air out of the right hand side, level it up a little bit for her, and she's got to remember to pump it back up again. So we did have a faux pas this morning. We packed up, we had the checklist, we were going through that, and then I don't know what we did. We put the checklist away. Anyway, we got down the road a little bit, and then I went, I know what I haven't done. So suspension was sitting on the bump stops because I didn't put the air in the airbags, and I was having a little bit of trouble with, just a small amount of trouble with visibility, and I hadn't pulled the damn cameras out. Just rookie, really rookie mistakes, JK. Anyway, we'll have a bit of lunch, and then Liz is going to ring up, and we've got a spot we've penciled in for tonight up at Lake's Entrance, and we'll see how we go. We'll see more when we get there. Cheers. Those two. Right, turn the black switch on.
You should get some shit.
This is the swarf from the installations, and we'll shake out in a few days.
Is stuff. Well, John, this is going to be your first camp cook on the camp oven. Oh, let's try that again.
This is cooking on the camp oven.
Well, John, this is going to be your first cook on the outdoor titanium kitchen.
Non cue, I disappeared. It is, Liz. It is. So we're not going to risk it. You know, the old meatballs and pasta. I don't mind these. We do. They are. Oh, I can't think forget the name of sausages. These are black pepper, Angus beef and black pepper sausages. The gourmet sausages you get in Woolies. Cut the skins off and take the meat out, roll it into balls, fry off a little bit of onion, just soften it up, and then throw the balls in. Let them get a bit of colour, and then we'll add some sauce, put your pasta in, and just like that, this dinner is served.
Now, I don't know if this camera is going to show it, but the flies are amazing, just inundated us.
Must be the only person cooking in this campsite, I think. Everyone else is on the substitute and bowls thing.
Well, we've got a rainy day again. It's been overcast for the last couple of days, but today it's raining. It's Sunday. And we're going to go on a river cruise to a winery. So hopefully it's nice and dry up there. We'll see.
Go caravanning, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Well, this is it. This is what it's like. 3 days we've had this. I guess it's all part of the adventure, but yeah, it's a bit like that. Hey, anyway, let's go and try some wine. A couple of boards, give up.
Thanks, honey.
It must be a healthy waterway, as the skipper was telling us these cormorants eat up to 3 kilos of fish per bird per day. The natural entrance to the Gippsland Lakes was often dangerous and unreliable. The first settlers arrived in the 1840s, and by the 1870s the local population petitioned the government to cut an artificial entrance. Construction work began in 1872 but was abandoned in 1876. Work then resumed in the early 1880s, and the entrance was opened prematurely in 1889 after a big storm broke through the remaining sandhills. A wall was built in 1889 to stabilise the water level and create a harbour. The entrance needs to be dredged regularly to keep it open for sea-going vessels. It was originally named Lakes Entrance because it was the entrance by which ocean-going vessels accessed the Gippsland Lakes, the largest navigatable inland waterway in Australia. And as you travel up the river, there's a smattering of small houses along the shoreline. Different. Ready, set, go. What a great afternoon. Time goes so fast, and it's not long and we're on our way home. We passed the sand dredge, Tommy Norton, on our return trip. An interesting piece of machinery. This is the little beach outside the back of the showgrounds, where we've stayed for the last 4 nights. It's all getting away from me a little bit now. But yeah, apparently they can, well, we go back a little bit. We went up the river yesterday for lunch. We actually came up past here and headed up towards that way. You can see the river, so we went up there. And then on the way back, our mate was saying that quite often, like, this is obviously packed over the summer and the Christmas. Guys bring their boats and just drag them up on the beach right behind their camp. Pretty convenient. So yeah, so this is a sports ground. I think they were probably supposed to play cricket on here yesterday, because Friday they got out, or early Friday morning, they got out and mowed the lawn, mowed the oval, put the pitch covers on, and that's about it. And it's rained Friday afternoon, Saturday, and now into Sunday. Rained Thursday. So yeah, we're copping a bit of a weather event. It's coming all the way down from way up north, so it's good. We'll green everything up. It's just being a bloody nuisance. Alright, well, we're going to pack up today and head north. Not quite sure of a destination today. Ultimately we're going to Canberra. We're going to head into Canberra, well, either today or tomorrow. We're going to have a look at a couple of spots Liz has picked out. We'll have a look. If it's not too wet underfoot and boggy and stuff, we might stay there. Otherwise, it's a good 5 or 5.5 hours or something into Canberra. So all good. Well, everything's settling in quite well. We've got starting to get a bit of a feel for where things are and where things are packed. There's a few changes that we'll make probably when we get home. We've got a little bit of stuff to add to it that we couldn't fit in the car. Things like the chainsaw, stuff like that. So all good. Alright, we're going to go and pack up, go through the protocol. We're going to make sure that we follow the checklist today. We started to follow it the other day. I think I might have mentioned, and it started to rain, so we ended up shortcutting it and thought, well, we know how to do this, we know how to do that. And there was a couple of important things that we sort of missed, but we'll make sure that there's the sort of things that you probably do once in your caravanning life. So there's those that haven't done it, that are yet to do it, and those that have already done it. A bit like launching the boat without the bung in. Alright, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll show you a little bit more of our trip home. Bye. Well, this is the Stony Trestle Bridge. It was built in 1916. When the existing rail line from Melbourne to Barnsdale was extended through to Orbost, I'll get there in a minute, sorry, Orbost, it was nearly a 100-kilometre extension through pretty rugged terrain. It was one of the most difficult rail projects undertaken in Victoria at the time. The bridge remained in service for 60 years, and the last train crossed it in 1988. It stands 247 metres long and 20 metres high. It's built out of red ironbark and grey box timber, and a real fine example of how they improvised and used the resources around them at the time.
There's some more of the old railway line. We pulled into the Canberra River camp for the night. It was a bit early, but it just gives us another opportunity to set up and work our way through the many, new to us, features of the band. Currently, this is a free camp. It has powered stands that don't work and water pools that do.
Well, we're at the Canberra camp, so we've decided to pull up here. It's turned out nice at the moment, so we're just enjoying a little bit of this. As I said this morning, we didn't, no big rush with Canberra tomorrow. It just sort of breaks the drive up a little bit. So yeah, we're just going to have a look around. Lights, fuse box. That's all the solar stuff.
Yep.
That's all the solar stuff.
We encountered our first hiccup. The remote was not communicating with the airbag system, so the investigations begin. After some time, it righted itself, which we all know is a problem in itself because we don't know what caused it. I first blamed user error, but it wouldn't work for Liz either.
Working now.
I know. Spooky. Working now. Maybe I just wasn't holding my mouth right. Anyway, we'll let the tank pump up, and we'll level ourselves up. We'll just have to monitor that. They were working because the little blue light comes on the sender. It just didn't seem like it was receiving. So maybe you got to turn it off, turn it on. Wow, it's so nice to see the morning, see the sun and a bit of blue sky in the morning. Makes a pleasant change, So we get first chance we get really to cook a bit of breakfast on the outdoor kitchen. This is cool, I like it. So not in a big hurry today, just from where we are, the Canberra through to Canberra for a few days. And again, looking forward to that. All a bit of new stuff that we're doing. So we're going to have a bit of breakfast, saddle this thing up, and head off. So we'll catch you a little bit later. Oh, Mama Bear's in there, just tidying the place up. Look.
Just got the dustpan and broom, just getting a bit of the gravel off the ground.
Yeah, we've actually got a little portable vacuum cleaner. We just didn't have room in the car to bring it. So that's sitting in the spare room at home, and that'll go in once we get there. But for the time being, it's a dustpan and broom trick, which tends to do the job anyway. Well, we've arrived at the Epic Showground in Canberra after an awesome drive this morning. Came up through the Monaro Highway, through some quaint little towns, and it's around about, I think it was 3 and a bit hours. Very pleasant indeed, very picturesque. Sort of rainforests, and then it opened out into farming property, and there was sheep, and then there was cattle, and then there was sheep and cattle, And then there was, yeah, I think they were dairy cows, a lot of what we saw. But you know, really was a pleasant drive. We've arrived here in Canberra and we've got some stuff organised tomorrow morning. We're going to catch up with Mark and Nicole at Battery World, do a little bit of stuff in there with them, and then a few people moving around in the park. And what are we doing then? And then you've actually got to get online and book tickets to go to the War Museum. There's no cost involved, but obviously they're trying to organise and limit numbers. But you only get 2 hours, so I don't know whether, obviously it must be long enough to see and do what you want to do. So yeah, so that's Wednesday, and then we'll find something to do in the afternoon, and then we're out of here Thursday morning heading towards Bathurst. So we've got a couple of steaks that we're thawing out for tea tonight, and apart from that, not all that eventful getting here. But when we arrived, we got all sorted out. Again, it's all a little bit of a learning process, trying to get the levels right. We have had a couple of issues with the airbags, which we've spoken to Titanium and they're all over it. So we're just waiting for them to get back to us on that. Once we've done that, we went for a bit of a drive, and it's a couple of fantastic lookouts that we've saw on the map. So we've been and had a look at those. Overlooking the War Memorial, up through to Parliament House, Lake Burley Griffin, the Duntroon, I think it's the Duntroon Military Academy. Yeah, so we'll put a bit of stuff in there on that. So that was yeah, that was this afternoon. So it was pretty cool. All right, I think it's nearly that time of day. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye. Can you get away with it, probably?
So before we tell you where we're going today, what about yesterday and the day before?
Well, we just had a few days in Canberra. Couple of things. Liz got to tick off. Now she's been to every state and territory in Australia. So it was the last one that she hadn't done.
That's right.
But we had some stuff to do with Battery World, which we did on the first day. We went up to the lookouts and had a look around. That was pretty special. Like it really does show off the area.
Yes.
And up through Duntroon and all the military stuff that's based in Canberra. And then the next day, jumped on the public transport on the light rail.
Yes.
Into the city, and then a bus from the city out to the Australian War Memorial,
where we spent the whole day.
We ended up spending the whole day there, yeah.
And you could have spent more.
Well, when we said to the lady, because currently, because there's a stack of renovations going on, they're limiting the numbers, or at least they need to know the numbers that are there. So you basically booked in for a 2-hour stint.
Yes.
When we got there, we sort of said, we're going to see it all in 2 hours. She said, you won't see it all in a week. We're like, oh, okay. So she was kind enough to extend our stay to all day. So kudos to you, because there's no way we would have got to see anywhere near what we wanted to see in 2 hours.
No.
Basically, as soon as we arrived, they do guided tours throughout the day.
That was good.
And that was excellent. So that was about an hour and a half. Very, very knowledgeable guide. And by his own admission, a lot of the stories, of the stuff that's in the museum has come from family and friends of people that were there at different parts.
And also his story from himself
Yes.
as a young lad.
Coming out from England.
Yes.
Yeah. So, John, awesome job, bro. That was just fantastic. And that went for an hour and a half.
Yes.
So that was an hour and a half of your 2 hours. And we jumped, we went to First World War and he did some key points of that. And we went to the Second World War, we did some key points of that. We never got to do any of the Korean or Vietnam War with John. And that then gave us the time to do what we wanted to do. So we went back in, had a look, and spend a bit more time in those First and Second World War areas. Then downstairs to the
Cold War,
Cold War, yeah. So you've got the Korean War, Vietnam conflict, Malaysia. So yeah, it was really, really sombering.
Oh, very much.
Absolutely. But it's part of our history, so it was good.
Very much so. But we also, while we were in Canberra, we had to do some filming for Battery World, and we got to visit the 3 stores.
Yeah, we did the 3. I got to pop into the 3 stores, so that was good. Got to meet the owners.
Yes.
And the staff, and had a bit of a chat, and that was good. All right. Today. So we're just leaving Canberra, and we're heading to Bathurst, but we're going to sneak. There's a couple of different ways that you can go, so we're sort of sneaking along as we do one of the back roads. So the first town I think we go through is
Gunny.
And then Gunny, and then there was a couple of other little tiny little towns.
Yes.
On the way there is, so we will sneak up through them, and then we'll probably find somewhere for lunch, because it says we're going to get there about 1 o'clock, and the last couple of times it's still taking us a little while to set up. We haven't sort of got it hasn't
Got the rhythm.
clicked or the rhythm yet. Yeah.
Well, that's because we still have got stuff in different places which is probably not going to be where it's end up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's here and there, and then we won't be where it lives once we've got all the other bits and pieces that go in there. So that's a bit of a challenge for us. So rather than getting there sort of around about 1 o'clock and then mucking around for an hour, we might find somewhere and stop and have a bit of lunch, and then sneak into Bathurst.
Yes.
So we've got a few things to do that we wanted to do in Bathurst, and we've got a few days to do that. So yeah, it's been awesome so far. We're the van's towing really nicely, chugging along. It was a bit daunting, and to some extent it still is a little bit. It's higher, it's wider, it's heavier than the T-van, but again, it's just a matter of getting used to it. It'll become second nature, one would hope. We only really faux-passed with one thing this morning. We were about to take off, and a fellow caravaner come over, and he said, "Look, I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but your television aerial's still up." Oh! So this is what happens when you don't follow your checklist.
Yeah, that's right.
And the other thing was that I hadn't pulled the mirrors out of the car. So I'm just going to recheck the list that we've got, make sure that we're good. I don't know whether you guys have checklists or whether you just rely on it becoming habit, which I'm sure it will after a while, but until then we probably really should be using the checklist.
Yes.
All right, we'll soldier on and pop in through these little towns, and we'll catch you this afternoon when we get to Bathurst. Bye.
See ya.
Here we are at the Abercrombie River and the bridge. Pretty special bridge. We'll give Cabby a bit of a look. Bloody cicadas are going off. You can hardly hear yourself think. But this is the line. We must be getting close to Bathurst because it says we've just reached into the Bathurst Regional Council area. We're in the Upper Lachlan Shire Council. Now we're in the Bathurst Regional Council. The river's looking a bit yucky. I guess it's the runoff from all the rain that we've had just of recent times. Looks a bit murky. Well, there you go. Elizabeth is making some lunch. We pulled up just on the side of the road here, just before the bridge. So we're going to have some lunch and then we'll head on into Bathurst itself. Cheers.
Well, a trip to Bathurst would not be complete without a visit to Mount Panorama and the legendary race circuit. Whilst a country drive of 60 kilometres an hour, one can only dream of doing their own lap of the gods around here. So let's buckle up and here we go. After 4 laps around the circuit, another storm threatened, so we headed for the Motor Museum. This place is full of nostalgia and the heritage of what the great race is today. We thoroughly enjoyed this.
Here we are at the Bathurst Showgrounds and it has been pouring. Today it was 90% chance of rain. Well, it was 100% chance. It has bucketed down. The ground has actually dried up quite a bit since that last bucket down of rain. It was just pouring. Anyway, we're heading off tomorrow, so we'll see what the weather does from then. It's supposed to fine up, but we'll see. We've had rain on and off, mostly on, for a good week or so now. Anyway, we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Well, time to move on. This was to be our biggest travel day as we head from Bathurst inland back out to the coast and to a spot we found last time we were here called Mungo Brush. This great campsite sits on the banks of the Bombar Broadwater and Myall Lakes National Park.
As you can see, the rain has followed us. Look at this.
Morning. We're currently at Mungo Brush. up on the Mile Lakes district. We've camped here once before. When we did that lap, or that loop into New South Wales through the centre and then back up the coast. So yeah, it was a nice little drive yesterday from Bathurst. Man, we had a hoot there. Where did we stay? 3 nights. Got some horrendous storms and buckets and buckets of rain. We get a bit, I don't know what the word is. We forget. We're having so much fun that a lot of the stuff we just forget to document. Behind where we were camped, there was a little creek. When we got there on Thursday. When we left on Sunday, that creek was a raging river. An indication of how much rain it actually had round Orange, Bathurst. Yeah, absolutely pelted it down. And to be honest, we're a little bit sick of the rain. It's basically rained from the day we picked the van up. It's chased us, or we've chased it, one or the other. So anyway, we're here at Mungo Brush campground on the northern end. Got a nice little spot, Camp 10. No one right in front of us, so we can see the water. But we have woken up to this, unfortunately. We've got a job to do this morning before we do anything. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to look like that. It's on the bottom, so I'll jack it up, turn it around, it should be fine. Not. Alright, well, we're going to have some crumpets we picked up in Bathurst supermarket. We're going to have for breakfast. We've got, I've got to change the tyre. Liz is in there changing the bed at the moment, so that'll be interesting to see whether she comes out looking like she used to come out looking when she did the T-van one. And then we head up to a place called Hathead. Not that far from here, a couple of hours. We've actually booked in there for 2 nights. We popped in there on this same trip we spoke about earlier, and it was just wonderful. There's a river that runs in. Kids are on floaties and kayaks and things, and we're floating down with the tide. And the tide was coming in, and they floated back up the river. Yeah, it looked like an awesome spot. So we promised ourselves one day we'd stay there. Well, this is a perfect opportunity. Alright, we're going to get into it, do these couple of chores to get started before we get on the road. Well, first thing, I'll hook the compressor in, pump it up. It'll get the car level anyway, so I can get the jack under it if I need to. And then we'll have a look and see if we can get where the leak is. Hopefully, it's not what happened last time. We had a bit of a pothole, and there was lots of potholes on this road and the roads we've been on, and actually distorted the rim. It was leaking from the back of the rim. So hopefully it's not that, and we've actually driven over something that we can extract and put a plug in. Otherwise I'll have to change the tyre. Well, found the culprit. Just in here. It looks like a nail, so we'll extract that and see how we go from there. Plug installed, and I've checked it for leaks and it doesn't appear to be leaking, so I'll pump it up and check it in an hour or so before we leave. Job done.
Repaired, so I thought. There was actually another hole just to the edge, so I opted to change the tyre and look to get it repaired properly up the road.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead. I've been running in circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. I've been staring at the ceiling, I've I've been staying up all night. Everything I ever worked for vanished in the blink of an eye. I've been asking every question, 'cause
I like this.
why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do? I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath.
Right,
Here's to celebrate.
here's to celebrate our new titanium caravan. This little bottle of champagne was in the fridge when we got back to camp, so we thought we'd save it and wait till we got somewhere where we could have it, and maybe even indulge in a little feed of fresh prawns as well. We're going to pop the champagne. Very nice. An Australian made champagne to go with our Australian made caravan, and here we go. Cheers. Whoa! There we go. Not champagne flutes, Liz, but near enough.
Here's
There we go.
cheers.
Here's cheers. Thanks to Titanium. Guys were fantastic from the minute we placed the order, even before then, just going through stuff and other options. You know, we had a few questions, and the process went backwards and forwards a few times, which you expected to do, and then we got down to the nitty gritty. So it was awesome, a totally awesome experience from where to go. So cheers guys, and thanks.
Cheers guys, and thanks. This is one of the many drive-through sites that now is at Black Rocks, Bundjalung National Park. It's a new site that they've just put in. I think there's about 4 or 5 of them for the big rigs.
Circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can. I ain't got nothing left. Nothing left. Nothing left.
Last morning, wash up, pack up, head back to Brisbane. So we just yeah, we've had 4 days here, so it's been bloody nice. Given everything a bit of a workout. I think what did we get down to, about 76% in batteries last night. So we just cooked with the induction and Liz did a curry in a pot, something a bit different. That was very nice. So pack up, make sure we've secure everything. We'll go through that checklist again, and I think we're starting to get a bit of a handle on it, but one of those things, you can't become complacent. Alright guys, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this little bit of a run through with the van, a bit of excitement picking it up, and we look forward to many great adventures with it. Cheers.